That's 6 or 7 different people's jobs. We as businesses focus on the gap, but we need to focus on the gain, and we do that by measuring backwards. I was shot on an iPhone.
Well, hello there and welcome to the About Small Business podcast. In this episode, I'm chatting to James Ibbitson from Visual Punch. James is a videographer extraordinaire. If you've been on LinkedIn at all, chances are you're going to see his content fairly regularly. James, you post a lot on LinkedIn. A lot of people know you. The feedback that I get is all good. Everyone says you're a nice chap. We have met before and I can confirm that. And thank you very much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me, Barry. We met, how long ago now? It's
probably about a year, I think.
I was going to say, getting on for a year, isn't it? I know. So if you've asked me a few times, I'm really sorry, Barry, I'm really busy. So I'm buzzing to be here. But yes, people say this a lot to me about my LinkedIn. Say, oh, you're all over LinkedIn, you're doing loads of stuff on LinkedIn. And like, I hate to break it to people, I'm just really consistent.
Yeah.
That's all I'm doing.
I think in fairness, one of the things I remember, because you're not just a videographer, you're not the kind of guy, as I understand it, that people are going to be phoning up to do weddings and things like that.
100%.
You were when I spoke to you, you were very specific, not just that your social media content, but you were very specific that you were wanting to focus on TikTok and LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So basically, if anyone's looking for content specifically for LinkedIn, specifically for TikTok, that is an area that you are going to be very specialist in and very niche in.
Yeah, that's why we help a lot of brands. Yeah. So when it comes to that social content package, so we offer those sort
of...
Not
that you can't do the others, but those...
Yeah, there's where we sort of specialise in sort of helping people. A lot of it, again, is sort of what we do is we help businesses just become consistent with their marketing, whether it's using regular video content, whether it's, with one of our content bombs, so they've just got content to post. Yeah. Because we've all been there, you know what it's like. You go, I'm going to do a post on social today, and you go, right, beautiful post, I need a picture. I don't want to use a stock image because I've used 6 stock images in the last post. I know, I'll use those headshots that I got. And you realise your headshots were from 2013, you go, well, I don't look like that anymore. And you go through this whole rigmarole of trying to find just something relevant and modern, and you go through your own camera feed and it's either pictures of the kids or pictures of the dogs, what you had for tea and the rude mess the plumber left, and you go, well, okay, I haven't got an image. And then what happens is you don't post the content. So what we do is we actually just give you content. We give you the content so you can actually just be consistent.
That's a word that's bandied around a lot at the minute, consistent. Most people might think they understand it. Can you give me your definition of what you would say is consistent?
Oh, that's a killer question.
I'll refine slightly.
Okay.
And I think this may actually have come from one of your posts. Apologies to someone else if they actually came up with it and I'm crediting you. But consistency doesn't necessarily need to mean constantly.
So Graham Tennick, if you're not engaging or following Graham Tennick, make sure you do. So I had this amazing chat with him, and he got me to draw out 5 circles. And he said, colour them in. And I said, right. And he said, right, now draw out another 5 circles. And I only do 1 at a quarter, 1 at full, 1 a third, 1 3/4, and 1 just a tiny bit across the bottom. And he says to me, what's consistency? And I said, well, it's the top one. And he goes, well, no, it's the bottom one. And I was like, but why? At this point, it's like, why, Graham? Why? And he's like, because it's life. We forget life. We're business owners. We run businesses. We're busy. We have the kids to pick up. We have clients who have emergency phone calls because everything's gone sideways, and the only person who can fix that problem is you. And you go, the bottom one, that is consistency. And I think it's, I'm reading a really good book at the minute called The Gap and Not the Gain.
Right.
And it's all about how you focus. We as businesses focus on the gap, but we need to focus on the gain, and we do that by measuring backwards. We measure backwards our success, so where you were 12 months ago, where you were 6 months ago, where you were last week. And that's what we need to be focusing on. That allows us to ultimately understand how to be consistent.
Right.
Literally looking at what consistent means to you. Because we all sort of look at it going, well, consistency means I need to be 100% every day of the week. That doesn't happen.
No.
Doesn't happen. We all know that, you know. My daughter was ill a couple of weeks ago. Client call at the last minute. I'd forgotten I promised to do something for somebody and all these little things, and life just got in the way, and I didn't post on LinkedIn.
Right.
I didn't post anything at all, and that for me was a bit like, oh my god, what have I done?
People messaging you asking where you were.
No, I got tagged in loads of stuff, so there's content going out there already for me.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. Nobody died.
No.
And I think that's the barometer here, is like understanding people go, oh, I need to do, if I'm going to do something, I need to commit and be all in. You just need to show up. You know, there's, like, I love David Goggins, if you haven't heard of David. Have you heard of him?
I've heard of David Goggins.
I love David Goggins. And like, his whole thing is that you've just got to do stuff in the dark that nobody else will see.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. Like, you've just got to show up, and even if you can only show up for yourself twice a week.
So basically, you like your inspirational people. What inspired you to get involved in what you're doing now then?
Okay, so sorry, that's a really big sigh because like, I love content.
Yeah.
Like, I live and breathe this. I love making video content. Like, when I get the chance to work with somebody making their content, getting them to bring their vision to life, like, that's the thing for me. Like, I've sat in meetings with people and gone, we want to do this, we want to do that, and sitting there and sort of like, you could never do what we want to do. I remember once I worked with a company and she was basically saying, I think you're too expensive. I think you're not going to produce what I want. And I negotiated with her. I said, well, look, how about this, right? We'll charge you half. If you love what we do, you'll pay the other half. If you don't, walk away, no problem. And she was pretty much gone on the mindset of like, she wasn't going to pay us a penny more.
Yeah.
We did the project and we shared the video. And she watched the video, and I'll be honest, she was in tears. And I was like, oh no, this has gone sideways.
Misreading the tears.
This is like, yeah, you know, you're sort of sitting there going, this hasn't worked. And she literally looked at me and she went, I never thought in a million years you would show my business like this. And that's the bit that I love. I love being able to listen to people talk about their business, see their passion that they have.
Yeah.
To then go, you know what, I know exactly how we need to bring that out, to bring that to your audience, so your audience can look at you and your business and go, wow, that company can help me solve this pain point, can help me achieve this, and ultimately move me and my business, or help me and my family go from here to here.
Yeah.
I need to talk to them.
I was going to say, when you were at school, were you particularly into writing stories? Were you particularly artistic even?
Not really, no. I think I was more concerned about when was it lunch and when can we go play football? That was literally sort of me. I would say I was probably a middle of the road student.
Yeah.
I enjoyed doing art. I really enjoyed that drawing. I was quite good at that. But I didn't really know what I wanted to do.
No.
That was the thing for me. I just knew I wanted to make money. That's always been my thing of like, I just wanted to make money.
Yeah.
And then I sort of did that. So I left school at 16. I was like, no, everybody when I was leaving school did the A levels, and it was it was zero interest for me.
Were there many like media studies courses when you?
No, there wasn't. So back in the day, Barry, back in the day, no, there wasn't. There was a course called Interactive Media, and that was brand new, brand new, and they were talking about. So this was before really Facebook had sort of really landed. This was pre-Facebook. This is sort of when MySpace was sort of loitering on the surfaces and sort of coming around.
I think I'm speaking, you're actually you look a lot younger than you are.
Yes, I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I get told that quite a lot. Everyone look at me and go, who's this guy to tell us to do what we know what to do? Yeah. Believe it or not, 13 years in video production. It came at a point when I was doing the course was called Interactive Media, so it was newspapers. You learn how to write for a newspaper. You could do basic photo taking, a little bit of video production, and a lot of
the photography? Was it digital?
Mix of digital and analog. So this is how far back it goes. I found one of these on my desk in my box the other day. So I've just moved house, and it's an SD card, and it was a 2 gig SD card. Wow. And I'm like, I remember back in the day being like, you know, like, oh yeah, I've got a 2 gig SD card. Like that was like phenomenal.
I remember my first Mac had I think it was a 500 megabyte hard drive.
Yeah,
it's like, what can you do with that? And floppy disks.
Yeah, my daughter said to me the other day, I had a floppy disk, and I showed it, and she was like, "Why are you holding a save icon?" And I was like, oh, I've never even thought of it like that.
No.
Apparently that's what it is. So I was like, oh wow, okay. And even when I was at uni, we were in that sort of, we had DV tapes as well as SD
Yes.
cards, and we were sort of in that transition between the two. So I've sort of grown up with that change,
Yeah.
and then just sort of adapted and grown and gone with it.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like I say, my course that I did English and Film and Television Studies, and we were very much VHS was just kind of coming in. People were editing with VHS rather than the old pneumatic tapes, which is what we were recording with.
Yeah.
And CDs had just come out, so that's, I suppose I'm really showing my age then. But
And now it's like literally phone.
Yeah.
Literally record what you want.
Everything's there.
You can record, post, you can plan your video, you can script your video, you can record it with one of the built-in teleprompters on the phone, edit it on your phone and post it on social.
It's remarkable to think that in that respect, what you, your average sort of teenager can do now, or has a capability to do with a phone.
Yeah.
It's as good as, superior to the top level tech that we learned with, that would cost thousands.
Well, that's it. I mean, you only have to look at like the latest films that have been coming out. So Danny Boyle's new film, 28 Years Later?
Yes. I've not seen it yet, don't spoil it.
No spoilers. But that was shot on an iPhone.
Really?
Shot on an iPhone, yeah. Because they wanted to be able to move around quickly.
Right.
So, and again, I did a filming gig down in London back in March. Got a chat with some guys down there, and they were filming another different thing. And I was like saying to them all, like, what are you shooting on? And we were, talking cameras, talking gear, as videographers and production companies do. And this he turned around and said to me, "Oh yeah, I've just got back from Milan. We had to film with a client. We rocked up my junior, forgot all the SD cards. So I pulled out my iPhone. I'm on a brand new iPhone. Is it the 16 I'm on now? 17?
The 16, I know you. I think it is. You can actually sort of hook it up to a
so whatever the latest model
an
is,
SD drive.
So whatever the latest one is, essentially that's what they shot it on, and output it. From a client perspective, they were none the wiser because the clients. Because I think this is the thing now for me. It's like you can get really good footage using your phone.
Yes.
And it's really simple and really straightforward. A lot of it now is the human element. This is the bit now. So the technology is progressing, technology is increasing. It's really good. But it's a human element now, and this is the bit where people probably not quite grasping, or they go, "Well, I've got a phone, so why would we need a pro to help do stuff?"
Yeah.
And it's like, how do we talk? Getting people to sit there and just roll their shoulders and take some nice breaths in before they record a video. Most people go, "Right, I'm going to record a video," and they go, "It's dirty."
I think it's an interesting one, like sort of when you're just having someone else there.
Yeah.
That is in tune with what you want, and that could be whether it's a business advisor, life coach. A lot of these things that you might be able to do on your own, a lot of things you might be able to figure out with a bit of help from even say ChatGPT. It's that concept of like, well, actually, even if I can do this myself, it's going to be a lot quicker and a lot easier if I can get someone to come and help me, and particularly with video. I mean, as we've set up for this podcast, I'm fiddling about with the camera that's on me, the camera that's currently looking at me, and I'm messing about with the angle, and it'd be a lot easier. Sadly, there's not the budget to do that at the minute. So like and subscribe and get me so I can put some adverts on it. But that would be so much easier if someone's there or keeping an eye on something. And when something goes wrong, like the camera overheats, someone's like got that, they can like sort of just do whatever they need to do.
What you're describing there is not that we forget these little elements. These are the unseen parts that people don't understand when it comes to production. People don't understand why it takes X number of people to pull a shoot together.
Yeah.
I remember I did a live stream once, and we had 3 cameras set up, but I was managing the entire process. So I was bringing people into the green screen. I was giving them a briefing in terms of what they need to be doing. I was sitting them down, telling them where they need to be looking, who they're going to be engaging with, making sure the cameras are running, managing the stream, making sure the stream was going up live. That's 6 or 7 different people's jobs.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, and this is what people don't understand, is that when it comes to content, because we are so spoiled, because we have a smartphone, it can do so much, but people don't understand to take your content from here, to here
Yeah.
requires manpower. And it's not something you're going to get with an AI. It's not something you're going to get with ChatGPT or Claude or whoever you want to use. It requires human beings. But I think it also requires that one step further to understand. People buy from people.
Yeah.
We engage with people because we like them. I'm fully aware. Some people love me, some people hate me. And I'm okay with that. A lot of people are still understanding that process. And with clients I work with, it's one of the things I talk about first. People either love you or hate you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's just the way it goes. Some people will think, oh my God, I need to have this person in my life. And other people will be like, never speaking to that person again.
I get that a lot.
I don't know why, Barry. You're lovely. You're lovely. He's a lovely man. You're lovely, honestly. But it's getting people to understand that through that content, because once you're putting yourself out there, that ultimately you need to start producing more content. But having a person behind the camera who can literally say to you, yeah, that was good, but you could do it better.
Yeah.
This is where having people coming in to help you ultimately means that that content moves from being sort of, yeah, it's okay, or you're thinking to yourself, do I want to post this? I'm going to post this? And you say, I don't know. To not posting it. I do this quite a lot. We do training.
Yeah.
Teach people how to film their own videos. And I quite often say to them, first 10 videos you film, I'm not going to lie, don't show them to the world. Don't. Because they will be awful. The first 10 will always be awful. Because you'll be blinking too much, or you'll be gulping too hard, or you're not breathing right, or for some reason when you're recording it looks like there's an earthquake because you're shaking, there's that much nerves. So you get to your 13th take, and you're like, you go to the missus, the other half, you go, have a look at this. And then suddenly what happens is, on that content process, you realise you actually can do it. But it takes the time.
Yes.
You must see it all the time. People rock up for a podcast interview thinking, oh, it's going to be amazing, it's going to be great. And then they sit down and they start to shake and get nervous and they're twitching.
Do you know what's interesting? Because I would say more often, I think guests tend to be just a little bit more, it's something they're built up to.
Yeah.
And they're frequently, it's like, I want to come on because it's something new, it's something different, I need to push myself in that area.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of the main things I've found is like people generally hate being on camera. And I think that's the curious thing. It's like for most people I found when they've been guests, or if I've asked people, I thought you make a really good guest, they're just really apprehensive. Even if they're really confident, really gregarious people, which I think can be quite surprising.
And I think a lot of that is because what people forget to understand is like me and you, if we break the fourth wall for a minute, we're like, we're in a room by ourselves, just chatting. But right now, people could consume...
That's getting edited out, I think. We're not it's an expensive studio.
Yeah. But people consume content all over. And the thing that people struggle with is the judgment. How are people going to perceive me? How are people going to react to me? Because if it's one-to-one like this, like we're talking, you can look at me and be like, oh, I don't agree with that, James. Oh. And from that point of view, then if your body language changes, if you used to sit and fold your arms, I'm like, oh, Barry's not happy, then I'm going to have to soften my body language. We can react to it in person. But the problem you have when it's like this, like say when people coming in, we have no control over that.
Yeah.
And this is the bit that I see a lot, especially with business owners, is where we're all control freaks. We just naturally are. I think we're so used to either doing everything or being involved in every step in every process, or having people that we know we can trust who can do that for us and report back in at a level where yes, you can trust their opinion. But what it is ultimately is that fear of the unknown and letting go and being, we have to put ourselves up to the world to judge us. But again, like we talked about previously, not everybody's your customer. Not everybody's going to like you. And as soon as we kind of get over that, you start to see a change in your content. Yeah. That was my biggest thing. That was probably the biggest thing I had to get over, was the fact that not everybody would like me. And it took me, I'm open to admit it took me a good 2 years to understand that.
I think that's interesting because for me, with any content I've done over the years, I wanted it to look as professional as possible. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, I didn't have the professional budget, and that there are always going to be compromises that you make. And I mean, you've already said now with the phone, that's as good as it needs to be, really.
Yeah.
We can, you and I could have a conversation about like sort of lenses and actually where you are going to tell the differences that maybe 5% of people might spot, but fundamentally you've got all you need with that camera phone. And that's an interesting one, because I think if I was doing things again with the punctuation show, with the podcast, I think I would just basically just crack on with the phone. I would get the best iPhone I could. I would struggle to pay for the extra storage, but I think I would just go with the extra storage, meaning it's a little bit more functional, and I'd just master that.
So the thing for me there is I agree with your sentiment, but that standard of content works at so far. So you need to think about on a sales funnel level.
Yeah.
Okay, because ultimately we want people to subscribe to the show. We want people engaging with the show. There needs to be a level where people start, as they start following through the journey, start following through. So I think a real good example is you look at Gary Vee.
Yeah.
So, we all know Gary Vee started his big, he did that video, he's behind a dumpster, dropping a few bombs here and there sort of thing, and then telling us that basically need to crack on and start making video content.
Yeah.
Through to the content he's producing now. So obviously, we can't compare ourselves to him, because he is a machine, he's got a massive team behind him, and there's people filming on phones, there's people filming using cameras, there's various setups and various needs and requirements. But where we need to look at content and how it's produced and where it fits in, it comes back to the sales funnel.
Yeah.
The more we're asking people to spend with us, the more we're trying to showcase how we can fix a pain point. At that point, a level of budget needs to be spent. A level of, if you're trying to sell somebody 25 grand program how to do your own podcasting, if you're filming it using your iPhone with some shoddy lights, so you've got the windows blaring up behind you, people aren't going to spend that money.
No.
And that's where the balance is. It's understanding the types of content that can be created with the tools that are available.
Yeah.
To ultimately allow you to leverage what you're trying to do and trying to achieve.
I think that's to clarify what I meant earlier. I think if I was starting out again, I would just get to know my phone as well as I possibly could.
I think that would be
and
a really
then
good
grow
start.
from there.
Yes, I think that's the thing though, isn't it? Everyone goes, I've seen so many people that go, "Oh, start on a podcast." I'm like, okay, cool, and they go, "Oh, we bought." Look, and they open the cupboard door. We've bought all this stuff. I'm like, "Oh my god!" So you didn't need to buy anything. Use your phone.
Yeah.
There's tools out there at the minute, like I forget the name of the app, but literally you plonk your phone in front of you. It uses a forward and rear facing camera, and it positions you one above the other. And you can literally put your captions across the middle. That's all you need to do to begin with. Showcase and prove you've got an audience before you're dropping serious cash behind something where ultimately you go, "Oh yeah, we bought all this stuff," and then it's just sat in the drawer. I mean, we both know people that have gone, "Oh yeah, we've bought loads of gear," and I'm like, I've got clients who openly admit they've bought loads of tripods, they've bought fancy gimbals, and I can guarantee they're in that third drawer down on the desk, and it's all the stuff in the closet or the attic at home.
I mean, that's fair enough. I mean, I kind of did that, but I wanted to get to know the gear. I'm a bit sort of techie like that anyway, and well, if anyone could see the whole thing, I am at least using all mine. So,
it's a very professional setup, but I must admit, it looks very slick.
Thank you very much. So, from professional opinion as well. So there we go.
For sure.
But so let's go back then. Your main motivation, you said, was money.
Yeah.
What was your first job?
My first job, I did have a paper round, if we're counting that. After that, my first job was working for a company.
Let's just pause on that actually, because I think you're interestingly, I think quite possibly the first person to ever say that to me on this podcast.
Really?
Yeah, and
it's like a common thing when I was a kid. Everyone had a paper round.
I didn't. I didn't want to get out of bed at that time for like sort of a pittance. But I'm just interested.
Oh, so my papers were delivered to my door.
Right.
Okay, but I also had leaflets delivered. So I had 500 newspapers delivered to the door, and I used to have to put the leaflets inside the paper. So we didn't get paid for the papers; we got paid for the leaflets. So the more leaflets we delivered is what we got paid on. I say we. That was me and my older brother. So we used to.
So this is an early marketing and distribution thing, isn't it?
I mean, at that point, now you said that too. I'm like, yeah, of course it is. I've never even thought of it that way. But yeah, we used to get regularly about 5 leaflets. I mean, I can't remember. I think we maybe got 15 quid. and it used to do it on a Friday.
I'm interested to know
Yeah.
what sort of, do you think that had any impact on your work ethic? Did it teach you anything?
I think do you know what? I think it probably was one of those things where you sort of realise you got nothing for free.
Mm.
And it was one of those where if you want to get something, you've got to put the graft in.
Mm.
I think I've definitely sort of embodied. I can look back at numerous points in my life and in my career where I've realised that if you want something, you've got to put the graft in.
Yes.
And it's that thing of
Nothing works until you do.
yeah, and it's like it's the old Field of Dreams, isn't it? Everyone obviously misquotes it. If we misquote it, where it's like you build it and they will come.
Mm.
It's like people just expect stuff because I've done this. Look how amazing this is, and it's like no, if you're not willing to put the legwork in.
Yeah.
So many companies that I've worked with in the past, they said, "Oh, we want to do this. We want to show this off," and we've looked at what they've done. And it's actually, well, no, you need to do a series of this.
Yeah.
That's going to help you. And in the end, they don't listen, they don't take the advice, and they go down the main route that they want to do. And it's like, well, that was never going to work.
Mm.
And it's sort of, I guess to answer your question, I think it's just been instilled in me. So my granddad used to run his own bus company.
Right.
In Tadcaster. So New York. It was called Dawson's Mini Coaches. And
Was that your granddad?
that was my granddad, yeah.
I've heard of Dawson's Mini Coaches.
Yeah, Dawson's Mini Coaches. That was my granddad. He was known for basically doing all the buses. And I think it was one of those where I probably subconsciously paid more attention to what he was doing and how he was doing things, and everything was like in the diary. The phone would ring, and you'd literally see him like he used to always bake us a cake whenever we went to go see him. And he would literally stop mid-icing a cake and dive for the phone and get the phone. I always remember saying that when the phone rings, that's business.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably one of those where that's instilled a level of sort of, again, I think it's probably more, I would say I'm very much like a sponge. Mm. So I take advice and I listen to everybody, but then I work out what's worth keeping, whose advice is actually valuable for me.
Yeah.
And there's two people I'd definitely shout out that you need to make sure you connect with on LinkedIn for the content they're producing. So Graham Tennick and Michael Knowles, those two individuals, the content they share is phenomenal, and it will literally help you understand how to push to that next level, because the stuff that they're doing, they're two phenomenal human beings, but their businesses are fantastic.
Yeah, so proof's in the pudding.
Yeah.
Wow.
It really is, yeah.
So and all that from a paper round.
It literally is, yeah. I think, like you say, like the paper round, that was the first job, and then I did do. I used to load lorries for a small. It was a company that used to have their own chain of shops. So I used to load all the lorries. Used to start at 6 a.m. Work from 6 a.m. till 6 p.m. Did that Monday.
Are you still an early riser? Just out of interest.
Yeah, I'm up at 5 a.m. Start every day at 5 a.m. I've now got into a habit of where I start my working day at 5 a.m. before 9 a.m. because what I've found of late is that the phone doesn't stop ringing.
Right.
So it's easy to sort of get my jobs done that I want during the day, so I can judge my day as being a success or not. Because one of my things is that I always judge it by the amount of videos I've got edited.
Right.
It's a thing that I do, so it just means that I know I've got the peace of mind that I've done it. So when I get to 6 o'clock, I can say, right, okay, day's done, I can unwind. Or if it gets to 3 o'clock and I get my daughter from school, I can just be like, right, I'm done for the day. Mm. So it's sort of like, I like having that head start on the day when everybody's sort of getting into the office at 9 o'clock and they're going, James, we need to do this, blah, blah, blah. I've already thought about it because I've already planned it out. I know what the responses are, I know what I need to be looking at and how to implement it. So it's never really left me. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's always sort of just stayed.
I think there is a 5 a.m. club that's often talked about online.
Yes.
Of people getting up. What I've noticed of late, I don't know if it's kind of coming up into your feeds, is there seems to be a little bit of a backlash against that.
If you get up at 5 a.m, do what works for you. So if 5 a.m. works for you, fantastic, do it.
Yeah.
If staying up till 2 a.m. in the morning works for you, fantastic. It's like, we forget we're human beings, and it irks me. Because people are like, if you're not getting up at 5 a.m, you're not succeeding. Like, I'm just naturally an energy riser. Naturally. I'm up, it doesn't matter what time I go to bed, I will always wake up. I wake up at 10 to 5, just 10 minutes before my alarm, and I always go, oh, my alarm's not going off, and I'm woken up. I always have a little sub to myself, and then I get up. But like, I think it's that thing of it. You just got to do what works for you in your life. I think so many people sort of.
I think to go back to what we were talking about earlier on as well, it's about the life that kind of gets in the way as well.
Yeah, agreed.
It's there's nothing we love more. Myself and my wife will often get up 6 o'clock. We'll go for just get about an hour's walking, and then, my idea will be next to sort of go for an hour at the gym, and then come back and then start my day and do whatever needs to be done.
But that's so important, though, isn't it, for your mental health?
It is, but then you get these little barriers that come up. There's life gets in the way. You've got to go do this because you've got an early start with.
You've got a client meeting. Somebody needs you to do something, or whatever it is. The kids need dropping off at school earlier.
That's it.
You can't measure your success by looking at somebody else. You can only measure it by looking at your own success. Yes. And you have to decide whether you're going to live in the gap, which is where, I've not achieved this today, I've not done this today, I've not done that. Or you live in the game and you look at the successes and the achievements that you've done. Yeah. It's something I'm embodying, and it's something my partner's sick of me saying.
I think from a personal perspective, I will say that's not easy.
Oh, no, it's not.
It's incredibly hard on myself. It's like, I should be there, should be doing this, should be doing that, the other.
But that's a classic business owner mindset. Because we berate ourselves so quickly because we hold ourselves to such a high standard. But if you was to measure yourself against next week, what you've achieved. Yeah. If you could measure yourself against 6 months ago, it's like, so if I measure myself against 4 months ago, is it 4 months? Yeah. Back to March. Is it 4 months to March? Yeah. So
roughly.
Ruining the...
I'm English rather than maths.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm ruining the the longevity of our podcast. But we're in July now, so it was 4 months ago. I was working 4 nights a week to get my business up and running after going back to being self-employed again. And it's not till you start measuring that success. That's what success looks like. Yeah. And as soon as you start looking back and going, actually, where was you 3 months ago? 3 months ago, you were saying, you're trying to get the studio sorted. And the studio looks amazing. The studio looks phenomenal. But you say, the studio, it's only just been done, but it's taken ages to get through. But if you measure that time back to where you are now, the successes that you've had, and this is, again, the book, The Gap and the Gain, honestly, it will just change how you view everything. And it's honestly I'm so pleased it didn't put on my radar because it's literally changed how I'm viewing my successes, and it's a slow mindset shift for me.
I think to be fair, if everyone could look at whatever they've got going on like that, that's absolutely a healthy perspective, isn't it? And I think just generally at the minute, everyone seems so busy, everyone seems so caught up, everyone is looking at their own failures or failings, what they've not got.
It's always easier to look at what we've not got than it is compared to what we have, because we always want more. Yeah, we're human beings. We always want more.
I think it's like an interesting thing there. Like the world's richest man is on tablets for it to help his unhappiness, and it's like when you sit back and think, it's like we're, as a world, we're doing it all wrong.
Well, that's it, isn't it? It's the old adage, if we dare to mention the subject of AI. Yes. What is it? Some people say, you cast your minds back to lockdown, and for all the things that happened with it, if we look at as what we were doing as a society, we were making bread, we were painting, we were doing poetry. There's some of the things that we were doing were fantastic. Why is AI doing that for us? Yeah. It shouldn't be. We, as human beings, should be able to embrace those things, and that AI should be used to leverage to do the tasks that, as a day-to-day everything that we know.
The monotonous.
Yes. Yeah. That's what it should be leveraging for us. We should be, living by each other's happiness, isn't it?
One of the big things that had come from lockdown, working from home, which apparently, I couldn't quote you these statistics, so you can take them as you will. They're as far as I'm concerned, these are anecdotal because I've not got the actual source. But by any measurable point, working from home is successful. There's no drop in productivity. I've heard convincing arguments where people are telling me, younger people aren't learning from the more experienced members of staff, and I can absolutely appreciate that because we've already spoken about networking, how much you can learn from that. in terms of real life and for jobs and things like that, it's an absolute perk if it means that people can just mind their own children. They can go do the school run, take a 20-minute break, and then come back and finish the task. If if that productivity doesn't drop, then that's got to be a good thing.
What we talked about is trust. As employers, it's easy to give it.
Yeah.
Because you have to trust that people can do what they say they do, and they're going to do it when they say they're going to do it. But it's when the trust is broken that you see people saying, "Oh, well, we need to keep an eye on you. We need to have everybody in our office." And and for me, for like the working from home debate, I'm neither here nor there. I've done both.
Yeah.
I've done both. I've seen the advantages of working in the office.
It's one we don't have to get involved in, fortunately.
Yeah,
as
that's completely
self-employed.
Yeah, that's it. And I've seen both sides of it, and it's like I enjoy times when I've worked in the office because it's nice to have the camaraderie and speaking to people. And there's other times where I love working from home because I can basically I'm by myself. I can focus and get the job done.
Yeah. And I think that's it. There's pros and cons. I mean, I do, from going self-employed, I do miss human interaction, the regular human interaction.
But that's where the power of good networking groups, isn't it? So you can find the good networking groups where you can actually meet people who get it.
Yeah. People
who get what it's like to run a business. They understand the highs and the lows and that roller coaster of emotions that we go through all the time. It's finding those good places where you can go along, even just finding good co-working spaces where you can just go along, have a cup of coffee, but you can crack on and do your stuff. And it's just, that's the bit I think as business owners, because I think we forget how lonely it is.
Yes.
I think I know it's something everybody goes, oh, it's really lonely. We should feel sorry for us business owners, and it's like that's not what I'm saying. It's like it's just acknowledging as human, because we are human beings.
Yeah.
Like, people forget that. It's like understanding that we are allowed to have emotions.
Absolutely.
And it's like we can feel sad, we can feel happy.
Yeah.
It's just it's those things, isn't it? I had a big contract win the other week, and I literally turned around, thumping my fists for joy in the air. There was nobody else there but myself, and I was like, who do I talk to?
Yeah.
I kept, and I cracked on with the rest of my day. It's those moments that we as human beings, because we want to share, don't we? We want to live by each other's happiness. We want to share the successes that we're having because we want to feel good for the people.
Well, a lot of this is underpinning your raison d'etre, I suppose, isn't it, with the content?
Yeah.
It's about sharing those successes and connecting on a wider space, but you also need that more personal, more intimate contact. So, I mean, basically just taking you back to the 4 months ago in March, where you were saying you were... So how crucial was the networking groups for you?
I think I'd networked a lot during that sort of year, when I was going back being self-employed again. I'd done a lot of networking. I'd met a lot of good people, and a few people who would pull me quietly to one side and say, "Are you okay?" I said, "What do you mean?" It's like, "You look dead on your feet." And it wasn't so I said, "Look, because at first I'll openly admit I did feel embarrassed. I did feel embarrassed by doing it, but then it's not till sort of halfway through I was like, actually, no, I'm taking pride in this because I'm doing everything possible to get my business back up and running.
Yeah.
And it's like, I will, there's nothing that's stopping me doing this. This is going to happen.
Yeah.
And anybody who can help me will never be forgotten. And there was people who in networking groups would literally sit next to me and they would just go, or they would walk over to me networking and give me a cup of coffee and they'd be like, "What time did you finish this? What time did you start?" And they'd look, and some people just didn't even bother asking, like, "Here's a cup of coffee. You should speak to that person and that person over there." Yeah. And though that's the thing for me for networking, it's like people always go it's about getting leads, get referrals, and it's like, we're businesses, we're people, and the more we can help each other networking, the better it's going to be.
I think that is a crucial thing that I've found. I remember it's a school I visited down in Luton, and I was chatting to a guy. I mean, bless him, he passed of cancer the following year when I visited. But he just says, he felt very strongly collaboration is better than competition.
100%.
And it just, to me, it's like, well, yeah, if we can help each other, give everyone a hand up, if everyone's pulling together in that same direction for a common goal, and can just help each other out and be appreciative.
It takes time to get there, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I can openly admit...
Do you not find generally, though, entrepreneurs, business owners are a little bit more like that?
What, collaborative or competitive?
I'd say collaborative.
Okay, completely.
I think generally you would get some, but
it takes time though. It takes time to understand that by working together, by bringing other people in, that you can provide a better service.
yeah,
It's a great book, Mike Mikhailovich. I think it's The Pumpkin Plan. He's got a great paragraph in there where it's essentially talking about how you can ultimately serve your top 10 customers better. And the way you can do that is by basically looking at the different people that they're working with to say to them, hey, I see you're working with Joe Bloggs' greengrocers. How can we work together to give them a better service? Because it's through that collaboration that people go, hang on a minute, that's really cool. My suppliers are working together to give me a better service. At that point, of course I'm going to say, how much is the bill? Yeah, of course I'm going to pay that. I know there's an ROI here and there's something tangible and there's something measurable. And like you say, I think collaboration is the key. I think that's one thing we're probably going to be really proud of as like in the Northeast is that we are so collaborative. I think if I was to pick fault with the Northeast, is we don't shout enough about the successes we have. I think it's that sort of very much thing of like, you know what, we're great at what we do. And they go, right, okay, so I've won a business award, okay, cool. Head down, keep cracking on. And we need to shout more about how great we are.
I'm doing my bit.
Yeah,
I'm doing my bit.
This is phenomenal. this podcast is phenomenal. Getting people to understand who it is, how we're doing what we're doing, and bringing people forward.
At what point then, from when you were working nights, was the thing that said, right, I'm comfortable now that I can stop working the nights?
Oh, there wasn't. It literally got to a point where in the business, it was do or die. I had to either decide I was going to jump or not. I gave a very significant person in my life who significantly helped me, like tremendously. Gave them a phone call. They were down in London. And I was like, so this is the boat, this is where I'm at, this is what I need to do. So I was getting to a point of where I need to put holidays in from working nights to do the filming. But then it was getting to a point of where I was robbing Peter to pay Paul, and I was like, well, I didn't have enough work in from Visual Punch to justify the jump. And the conversation we had, and he was basically like, at some point, he's like, this is on you. You've got to back yourself. And it was one of those moments where I'd had certain people in my life back me. People had buy little pieces of equipment for me. Our partner was essentially said to me, if you're going to go back for yourself doing it, like, you've got to do this. You promised me that you can do this. Prove it to me. And it was I got to this point of where I had to choose who is going to win here. Am I going to be staying and doing night shift for the rest of my life, or am I going to jump in? And I have a phrase that I say quite often. My daughter's sick of it. I say, burn the boats and take the beach. And it comes. Have you heard of that phrase before?
I've not. I like it. Though.
So burn the boats, take the beach. It comes back from the Spanish explorers when they first landed in South America. They obviously wanted to see what was beyond the tree line and see the Aztec Empire. And the way that they did it, the Spanish explorer, I mean, I'm paraphrasing here, so I can't remember the full ins and outs, but they burnt the boats. They burnt the boats to go forward. And that was my moment of like, if I'm going to do this, I have to burn the boats. So I took the leap. And went forward. And like anybody in business, we all know what it's like, that sort of moment where you go, I have to do this. If I don't do this, I'm never going to move forward. And it's just been a series of those moments ever since.
Fantastic. And so in the future then, where do you see things going for Visual Punch?
Well, that is a really good question. Right now, it's sort of really open-ended. I'm really excited for like the future of where things could go in terms of whether I grow a team, whether I say whether I grow a team. I know I'm going to be growing a team. But like we've got things like AI coming through. There's things in terms of what people are doing with green screens, which is phenomenal. Seeing some of the stuff that they're creating is, again, just next level. I think the big thing for me is I want to be able to look at how I can help businesses leverage content. I want to be making sure that we can help businesses understand how to use content to leverage it in the right way to impact their own sales funnels, to impact their customer journeys, to ultimately grow a bigger, better, stronger, more sustainable business. So the answer to your question is, I don't really know.
And what advice would you give? Because I mean, you've been through quite a lot this year. What advice would you give to the struggling entrepreneur that is contemplating, what do I do next?
Look at the content you're consuming.
Interesting.
Look at your content you're consuming. So, biggest piece of advice I could give anybody is stop watching the news. Don't watch the news. Delete Facebook if you're getting loads of these horror stories and things that are coming through, which is just, it makes you feel negative.
Yeah.
Les Brown has this quote, is you have to watch what your inner voice is telling you, because 80% is negative and 20% is positive. And I think that's a really important message to sort of actually look at what you're consuming, but then actually fill that gap. So just because you're not watching the news anymore, I mean, I can't remember the last time I haven't watched the news in years. So I couldn't even tell you a news presenter. I don't have Facebook on my phone anymore. I only use it on the desktop, but even then I'm only using it through Business Suite.
Right.
So essentially I can manage everything through that portal. But put actually content in that's going to provide you value. So I love Eddie Pinero. I've followed him for years. He's got a podcast called Your World Within. Absolutely phenomenal. Brilliant speaker. Definitely one you should be consuming his content, because I find him really inspiring. People like Mel Robbins, David Goggins, if you want something a little bit more hard hitting. Like I love David Goggins. He's someone to aspire to be towards, with all those different career changes.
He's a bit full on for me, I will be honest.
Yes.
But, I can see if you need, but it's finding the right things to put in there, but then also actually look at the content that you're consuming and the mediums you're consuming. So I've started reading more. I'm using more audibles. All of these things are going to help you, because whether it's the right decision or the wrong decision in terms of whether you want to, if you feel like you're struggling, you need to have a roadmap, and you need to have a plan, and you need to be looking at, why are you struggling? And the big thing is, you've got to look at the numbers. Are you doing enough outbound? Are you doing enough inbound? What are you not doing within your business? Because if you're, again, we'll misquote Kevin Costner, build it and they will come. If that is your approach, then it's not going to work, and it is the reason why you're struggling. So you just need to sort of look at everything holistically, like have a coffee. Also check who are the people around you. I mean, I feel like I'm parroting a lot of motivational speakers and what they do, but like, no, I think that's the thing, though, isn't it? It's we all have to find motivation from somewhere. Not everyone's going to get it from their content.
What we need to remember is not motivation, but discipline. Because motivation comes in waves. You have to be disciplined. So you have to basically make sure you do something every day. And I think that's the thing there. I think the more we can do that, the better we can become. Because we have to watch who we surround ourselves with as well. Because family and friends don't get it. My mates don't get me doing this. They look and go, they're in really good high-paying jobs, and they love what they do. And I look at that and I'm just like, it's not for me.
No.
And I've sort of got to that point in my life now where I'm happy with that. It's like
I think there's a quote I came across the other day which I really like. It's Jimmy Carr one, and as regards to like sort of the high-paying jobs and things like that, or whatever it might be, it's like not wanting something is just as good as having it. I love that. Whether it's a flash car, top job, don't want it, it's just as good as having it.
Comes back to what is your definition of happiness, and what is your definition of success. Because that ultimately, everybody else's opinion does not matter.
No.
Ultimately, that's what it boils down to. What does your success look like?
Yes, absolutely.
And the more you can sort of work out what that looks like for you, ultimately the happier you're going to be. But then you know what to measure it by. And I think it's understanding then to be happy in the moments. The fact that I'm here, I am buzzing. This has been something we've talked about for ages. And I've been really looking forward to this all week.
Me as well.
And that's the thing. It's like the more you can measure, the more you can understand what makes you happy. You're consuming the right content. Surround yourself with the right people, because family and friends don't get it. They just don't get what we do. but getting the people who do understand, who can provide you that sympathetic ear and just give you some meaningful advice. Have that one friend who, I have one. He goes to me. He goes, "This comes from a place of love," and whenever he says that, I can feel myself getting ready to wince. I can hear his voice saying it to me. But having those friends who can literally just be honest with you, that's more valuable for you as a business owner if you feel like you're struggling.
And as well as that, look at the gain, not the gap.
100%. Definitely amazing book. Amazing book. Need to be doing it.
And on that note, James, I'm going to wish you every success with Visual Punch. I've no doubt it will be.
Thank
you so much for coming on the podcast. And there we go.